Hello, everyone. My name is Olivia. I'm 47 years old, and this is one of the most unbelievable stories I've ever experienced. Even now, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it, but I can't stop replaying the events in my mind.
At the time, alternating current. Over time, video games that were once complex have been significantly simplified. The metric system in the United States. Miniature shopping carts for children in grocery stores were designed to let kids select their own items and be mindful of their choices. However, many irresponsible parents allowed their children to use the carts recklessly, ramming them into displays, people's legs, and other carts. This misuse led most stores in the area to remove them entirely. What was intended as a learning tool turned into chaos due to lack of supervision. As Yosemite National Park grew in popularity, rangers noticed a growing issue with locals feeding bears. This practice was likened to giving the animals a highly addictive drug. Once fed, bears would quickly become aggressive and start destroying campsites and vehicles in their search for more food. Dyson hand dryers work by inserting your hands and slowly pulling them out over a span of 10 seconds. However, some people misuse the device by simply waving their hands in the airstream, which only dries a very narrow area of about 5 millimeters. Nuclear power. Representative democracy. Sega Dreamcast. An unusual example is soap that doesn't produce suds. A specific chemical is added to soap to create foam, which helps users feel they are cleaning effectively. Without this additive, people often perceive the soap as defective, even though it still cleans perfectly well. A marketing professional once shared a story about their time working for Campbell's. They struggled to market instant soup in China, assuming it would sell as easily as it did elsewhere. However, it was seen culturally as cheap to just heat up soup. Rebranding and repackaging it as a dry mix that needed to be added to boiling water helped change perceptions, and sales increased as a result. A scratch-off lottery ticket once featured a game where players compared temperatures. If the revealed number was colder than the one shown on the card, they would win. However, the game failed because many players misunderstood negative numbers. Some mistakenly believed -6 was colder than -8, causing confusion and leading to the ticket's discontinuation. Masks, vaccines, and other measures that scientists spend years researching and developing. The 1/3 pound burger failed because many people mistakenly thought it was smaller than the 1/4 pound burger. My dad once told me a story about how crumpets were introduced in a new country, but didn't sell well because people didn't realize they needed to be toasted. Once the packaging was updated to clarify this, sales improved significantly. American liberalism. Some believed that simply declaring the nation as the land of the free would automatically make it so, even without implementing legal or systemic changes. When hand washing was first proposed, it faced so much resistance that the advocate, Ignaz Semmelweis, suffered a mental breakdown due to the ridicule he endured from his colleagues. Modern equivalents would include masks and vaccines, which some vocal, ill-informed, close-minded zealots continue to oppose, ignoring scientific evidence. Removable smartphone batteries were discontinued because people disliked the cheap plastic look, even though most users put their phones in cases anyway. Now, batteries are built in, making replacements more difficult. Biodegradable chip bags designed to decompose in the ground were rejected for being too noisy. Ironically, most chip bags make noise. Using bowls or plates to transfer chips or embracing the noise as a way to avoid overeating could have solved the issue. New Jersey once issued vehicle registration expiration stickers about 15 years ago. The idea was to stick the first one in the top right corner of the license plate and layer each subsequent year's sticker on top. However, many drivers placed stickers randomly, creating chaotic patterns. This failure led the state to discontinue the system. Freedom is often misunderstood as doing whatever you want, which results in foolish and harmful behavior, damaging the concept's reputation. Those who oppose true freedom use this misunderstanding to justify restricting it further. In Sweden, cafes once provided sugar cube 2-packs with an innovative design. To open, you simply held the seam up, pinched both halves, and broke it open, revealing the cubes in a manner likened to opening a book. Unfortunately, most people failed to grasp this simplicity, resorting to ripping, tearing, biting, and other unnecessary methods. Complaints poured in, and it's said the inventor became depressed because so few appreciated his clever creation. Condoms! In 1979, Clairol introduced a yogurt-infused shampoo aimed at reducing oily hair. However, consumers found the concept of washing their hair with yogurt unappealing. A few who purchased it mistakenly thought it was edible, leading to illness and disappointment. The U.S. National Park Service spent years developing trash cans to keep bears out, but many people failed to lock them properly or left trash outside, negating the can's effectiveness. One park ranger remarked on the significant overlap between the most intelligent bears and the least competent humans. Quarantine procedures. We could have ended lockdowns much sooner if people had simply followed expert advice and adhered to the rules. The Wii U. Many people didn't realize it was a new gaming console and assumed it was either the same as the original Wii, an add-on, or something else entirely. A distinct name could have resolved this confusion entirely. Even now, some people can't differentiate Wii U games from regular Wii games, despite the fact that Wii U games don't work on the original Wii console. A tip for marketers. When launching a new product, don't just tweak the name of the previous version, give it a unique one. COVID symptom checking websites. People are reluctant to use these tools, which were created to help identify potential outbreaks early, because they believe their personal data is being collected. However, these programs only track the responses provided, and if linked to an employer or school, they only associate the data with an ID number. Ironically, most people don't realize their phones collect far more detailed information than these symptom checkers ever would. Turn signals. Nearly half of early HD TVs were returned because users connected RCA cables as their main video input. Many didn't understand what HD meant and thought the image quality looked worse, as it appeared distorted on a 16:9 screen. Seatbelts for a time were resisted because auto manufacturers worried they would make cars seem unsafe. Many drugs, like morphine and LSD, were originally legal and had beneficial uses when taken correctly. Unfortunately, widespread misuse led to them being banned in most countries. Insulin that could be inhaled. Police Squad, created by the team behind Airplane, and often considered one of the funniest TV shows ever made, flopped because it required viewers to pay close attention to its rapid-fire jokes and witty dialogue. This prompted ABC's president to famously remark that the show failed because the audience had to watch it to understand it. It was later adapted into the Naked Gun movies, which became huge hits, likely because theater audiences are more focused on the screen. The earliest electric cars. For those who don't know, electric vehicles were actually invented before gas-powered ones. However, at the time, people had little awareness or concern about environmental issues, so the technology didn't gain traction until much later.